For a while, .NET MAUI was Microsoft's big bet for cross-platform development. But here's the catch. Support for MAUI 8 ended on 14th May 2025. While .NET MAUI 9 is out, but its roadmap is still a little murky. These days, being a Microsoft .NET developer means carefully avoiding the wrong tech stack for your new project. Because not everything built by Microsoft gets the long-term love. So does that mean that if you are building an app with .NET, should you panic? Well, no. You should pivot. So today from our Mac, we are going to jump into this UNO platform. This is an under-the-radar framework that lets you build cross-platform app while using CSharp and XAML, and you write it once and then you can run it on Android, Mac, Windows, Linux, and even host a similar UI on the web. So what is UNO? UNO platform is a free open source framework that lets you build truly cross-platform apps using Microsoft's own .NET and XAML. It is like the Xamarin Forms, but it is a little evolved. But it fully supports WebAssembly, macOS, Android, iOS, and Linux, and has got some cool Skia-based rendering options. So you write once in C# and XAML, and UNO takes care of everything else with native UI and cross-platform things. With this context set, let's now start setting up our developer machine for a UNO platform app development. So let's get started. Okay, so we are on this UNO platform official documentation, and everything that we are going to do today will be from this document. I'll put the link of this document of this website in the video's description. You can go and have a look. Okay, so what does it say? Because we are going to do this on a Mac, we would definitely be working on VS Code. Okay, but before that, we need to have .NET installed on our machines or on our Mac OS. So if you already have a .NET version installed on your machine, you can just quickly write .NET -- version, hit enter, and you will see the .NET on your machine. So I already have .NET version 9 on my machine, and UNO works with, as of now, the latest version of UNO works with .NET 8 and .NET 9. So if you have any of those versions, you are pretty good to go. But if you do not have .NET 8 or 9, then you can go on this link. I will put the link of this video of this website again in the description, and you can download the latest version of .NET 9 SDK on your machine from this website. You go to just choose the Mac OS operating system, and then you can download ARM64 or x64. Okay, cool. So if we already have .NET version on our machines, we are good to go. Let's move forward with the next step. So the next step says we need this UNO check on our machine. Now, in order to install this UNO check tool on our machine, we need to run this command. So let's copy this command, come to our terminal, and let's paste this command, and let's hit enter. So I already have this .NET tool installed on my machine. So it says it is already installed. UNO check is already installed. That's fine. If you want, if you also have it, you can skip this step. Or if you want, you can update the tool with this command over here. Next up is run the UNO check command. Now, this is a very interesting command. Whatever I have seen so far with UNO is that they try to give you a production ready app just with the template. So this UNO check tool, its only purpose is to check if your machine has got all the required components. So if I run this command, you will actually see what all things it is going to do. Let me copy this, go back to my terminal and paste it, and let me hit enter. Okay, so it says the command is not found because this UNO check I have installed globally, so I need to point to my root directory. So let's copy this other command and let's paste this over here and hit enter one more time. And now it says, okay, UNO check has started and it is syncing configuration and scheduling appointments. Open JDK, it is going to check for OpenJDK if that is installed on my machine. Then it is going to check for Android Simulator and Xcode setup. So it says Xcode select install is not there. So it is asking me if I want to fix it. I would say yes. Then it is checking .NET SDK. It found 8 and 9 on my machine. That is fine. Then it found that .NET new UNO project command line template checkup, and it asked me to fix that. I'll say Y to it. So you see, it is actually trying to fix your machine so that it becomes perfect for a UNO platform app development. So this is quite cool. Okay, something else is also wrong. Install UNO SDK 6.1. So 6.1 is something that has been released today. If you go, if you look for 6.1, You will see that it has just been released today on the 18th of July 2025. Okay, so let's go ahead with the new SDK, UNO SDK. Let's hit Y and it will install it. So it might take a little while to be installed. I'll fast forward the video over here. Okay, so it has now done its thing, but it says there were one or more problems detected. Please review the errors and correct them and run the UNO check again. So for now, let it be this much. We are not going to do any of these things any further. So for now, let's just stick with this. Cool. Now let's come back to this document, to this website of theirs again, and see what is next. Now it says configure VS Code. Open the VS Code. If this is a new installation, check for updates and using the code command. If you do not have this code command configured, you can do it and install the UNO platform extension. Now, this is something that we will have to do. So let's open our code or the VS Code. Okay, so you can either open it from here. Let me, close this, close folder, close this, and let me close this again. Let me quit this. And so what the step, if you read the step number 3, it says open VS Code using the code command. So actually, if you just type code dot on your terminal, it will actually open the VS Code for you. So this you can configure it. Let's hit allow. Okay, let me close this folder. Cool. So we are on our VS Code and it says go to extensions and install the UNO platform extension. Now I think I've already done it. Yes. So I already have it. If you do not have it, just hit install over here. You can read, you can read a few things if you want, but that's just up to you. Okay, so when you install UNO platform, you also get a couple of more things. So if you go to dependencies section over here, you get the VS Code extension for CSharp and also the CSharp dev kit. So this is also pretty cool, right? We do not really have to install it separately. That's good. Cool. What next? Next up is some platform specific setup. We don't really have to do that because there isn't any for Mac. Let's move ahead and let's create our first app. So this is about the Visual Studio. We don't want that. And okay, so let's come back to this core page and you see this create the app section with VS Code. Okay, now you can easily create your UNO platform app with this .NET command, but there is this live wizard. Okay, and if I open that, I get this user, interface, and if you keep following me, eventually you will see that we get the .NET new command format and all the things that we have chosen. And then we can just copy that command, put that into terminal and create the project. So let's do it. So let's call our UNO app as UNO POC. Okay. And let's hit start. Now it is asking me to choose the framework. I'm going to, go with .NET 9. So here are a few preset also. If you see, one is recommended. It is usually the smallest set of options. If you want, you can just choose this and move ahead. But I just wanted to take you along, on this set of options that they have got. So I've chosen this framework .NET 9 for the platforms. I'm going, what all platforms I'm targeting. I'm targeting Android, iOS, WebAssembly, desktop. And I'm not going to choose this WinApp SDK, but if you want, you can choose it. Then presentation, I want the MVVM pattern. For markup, I want XAML. Yes. For theme, I would want material theme. Let me choose the theme service, but not the UNO DSP. I mean, if you want, you can of course choose it and play around. But I'll want this POC to be simple. I will keep this as theme service to be checked and not the UNO DSP. For the extensions, yes, I want the dependency injection thing to be there. Configuration should be there. Localization, let it be. HTTP, let's say none to it. For navigations, I want regions, yes. Logging, let it be default. Now, as we are choosing options over here, you see inside the summary column on your right hand side, you see all those things are being selected over here. Okay, come back to this features place over here. It says we want the UNO toolkit. Now UNO toolkit is quite a powerful NuGet package. If you select it, you get it out of the box. All the different UI controls that Uno gives us are actually coming up from this. If you do not do it now, you can of course install it from the NuGet library. All right, let's choose toolkit. I don't want the MAUI embedding. I don't want servers. PWA manifest is the progressive web apps manifest. So if you want, we are looking forward to create a WebAssembly. So let's choose this. I want the VS Code debugging to be there. Media element. Okay, let's choose it. And then yes, this is very important, or the rendering engine. So now Uno gives you two rendering engines. One is Kia and the other one is the native API based rendering engine. So if you choose Kia, it's going to be, now this engine is going to render your UIs across all the different platforms. So let's say if you are trying to tap into this haptic feedback API. Okay, so haptic feedback is like when you press a key, on your touch screen, you get a little vibration. So if that is called haptic feedback, and let's say you are developing an app and you want to add this haptic feedback, if it would have been for a MAUI app, then you would be writing two set of codes. One which delivers haptic feedback on an Android platform, and the other one which is going to deliver a haptic feedback for an iOS platform. But with this Kia based rendering engine, you don't really have to worry about is it going to be a different code for Android or a different code for iOS. You just write your code once, and then it's Kia's job to render that haptic feedback on iOS and also on Android. So let's stick with Kia. Even Uno recommends Kia. So let's stick with Kia. Next up is the authentication. Let's just go ahead with none. Then we have got this application. So you can, change this if you want, company name. But for now, let it be this. Then there is this testing. Let's not go with any testing right now. Then CI pipeline, none. Okay. So pretty much all our options are selected. And now if you look at this create button over here, let's hit create. And voila. You see this dotnetMAUI command and all the options that you have chosen to be written over here. You just copy this command, come to your terminal and paste it. But before that, let's make a new directory for our Uno projects. So Uno app. Okay. Let me call it Uno app. Okay. And let's cd into this Uno app. And now let's copy this command one more time and paste it over here. And let's hit enter. So now you see that it is rendering, or that it is creating all those projects. So it is restoring all the required dependencies as of now. So let's wait for it to finish, and then we'll run this on VS Code. Okay, so the restore has succeeded, and let's cd into Uno POC, and then let's open code. Okay, so now this is the project that we created, Uno POC. And if you look over here, we have got this Uno POC project over here. Okay, let's open this. We have got the assets, models, platforms. If we look at platforms, we get Android, desktop, iOS, WebAssembly. Okay, and if we further expand into Android, we get this main activity.android. Okay, and this is the presentation layer. So our main page.xaml is this. So if you look at over here, you see this Uno toolkit that we installed over there, that is there. We choose the material theme, we have got that also. And this is pretty much very familiar to what XAML offers us, but with a few different things. If you look at this grid over here, we have got this safe area kind of thing that is again coming from Uno toolkit. So we learn about them gradually, but on a very first glance, this is how the project will come up. Let's explore this project structure a little more. Okay, then we get this second view model, shell view model, and then these are the styles. So there is this color palette override, and then we have got this app.xaml. Let's look at this app.xaml. So it says, okay, material toolkit theme is something that we are using. Then this is the color override source, and it says color override.xaml coming in the styles folder. Okay, so this is my styles folder, this is my color palette override, and this is what they have written over here. Okay, so we'll understand all of this, but as of now, I'll tell you a very high level what it is actually doing. If you are pretty familiar with XAML, you already would have understood it, but if not, I'll tell you very quickly what it does. what it all means. So we have chosen material theme, but there could be a possibility, or there will of course be a possibility, that you want to brand your application, you want to include your brand colors and everything else. Now material has got its own set of colors. So for that case, you just go to this color palette override.xaml. Okay, and you put in your colors over here. So what is going to be your primary color? What is going to be your primary container color? What is going to be your color for errors and all those kind of stuff? So it's easy to override the built-in styles that you get with material theme. Cool. We also get this app.xaml.cs, where we actually can configure our DI container, add in a few more services as we move forward with the bigger application, and then register route. Now, this is another important thing. Now, Uno gives us this flexibility where we can actually create routes very much like what routes we have in a web application. So we can actually create routes that way also. So we'll look all of those in further videos of this playlist. Okay, that's it pretty much. And we have this SLN file, a global JSON file, and all those kind of things. Cool. So it is giving me some errors. Let it be for now. We'll build it and we'll get rid of this error. No, don't you worry about that. Okay. Another important thing is, let me minimize this application and let me bring to the bottom of this VS Code. You see, when you first open VS Code with a Uno app project, you will see this Uno POC.sln file is selected. But in order to build and run this, let me close GitHub. But in order to run this, you will have to choose the Uno POC CS proj file. Let me bring it down. Okay, so you selected this over here. Okay, now over here it says debug is any CPU, or then it says current build target platform is .NET Android, and I've got this emulator setup, that is Pixel 6. So if you also want to set up your Android emulator on a Mac machine, there is this video I have done. You will see the link of that video in the description, and on the top also you will see this little line kind of thing, or a card kind of thing coming up. Also you can access that video from there on how to set up a Android emulator on Mac. Okay, next, let me make it big again, and now let's come to this debug button over here. Now you see we get a couple of options. Target platform that we want to actually run this app on. It could be mobile debug, WebAssembly for Chrome or Edge, and then there is this platform desktop debug. So now let's choose this platform. Okay, and I think I'm doing better with a minimized kind of app of VS Code, so I keep it in this way. Cool. Okay, so I have chosen platform desktop, and let's run this and see if we can actually get an Uno application running. So it found some problems with your development. Okay, let's say fix. Okay, so my Uno app is coming up. If I enter my name, now this is the very default app that template created for us. We can of course get rid of all the XAML or all the elements that we see right now. But first let's just have a test of this default template app. Let me enter the channel's name. Okay, so there's a little navigation. We have a text box, we have a button. Cool. Okay. So for our desktop, it works fine. Now these are a few more things. If you look at this fire kind of thingy over here, now that is something pretty cool with Uno. Okay, so if you have worked with XAML, you know what a hot reload is, right? So in Uno, we do not have any hot reload kind of thing. Instead, we have this. It is called hot design. Now, if I click this button, you will see it has caught fire. The color has changed. And if I make it big, I can actually design this app in runtime. Now, I've tried it a little. It's not that great. You see, it is stuck now. So let me make it small. So it is good to have, but not a must have. So, when you start using it and you experience it, you will get to know it is a good thing, but not a, very superb thing that. Yes, of course, this is a new initiative. It's, they have tried to bring it a web designing kind of thing, but actually it is not yet super stable or super smooth. Okay, so you can of course play around with this and cancel this for now. Okay, so my app runs just fine on the desktop. Now let me disconnect it and let's change the target and make it, WebAssembly debug it on Chrome. And let me play it again and let's see. Okay, so the build has succeeded. Let's see if it opens up the Chrome really or it did. And we have the Chrome open. The Uno app is running on localhost 5000. And yes, it has come up now. Let us see. And let's go to second page. Yes, it did come to second page. Let me go back to my first page and it works just fine. Okay, good. So it works on desktop, it works on Chrome just out of the box, no further setting or tweaking needed. And now let's try it on Android. So for Android, let me start my emulator first. Let me disconnect it and okay, and let me start my emulator. So, and I have made this Pixel 6 emulator. Let me start that. Okay, so the emulator has come up. And now let us change this to platform mobile and let's debug it and let us see what happens. Okay, so the Uno app came up. That was, oh, no. So it did not come up yet. It is the previous state of the emulator. Okay, let me get rid of it. So I was actually trying this app before I could show it to you. Okay, so now the slate is cleaned. It is building it. And what I've noticed is when you build a platform, when you build this Uno app with a mobile platform, it will build. And meanwhile, it is saying that if you still want to debug it, now I would say don't debug it until the build is completed. Let the process take its time. So now if you see it is signing it and the build has succeeded. And let us see. Okay, so the Uno app is starting. And it has gone white. Okay, so there is some problem on my machine. Usually, the app takes a little time on my machine to come up and that will, make the video even longer. So I'm going to stop it over here. Okay, so the app has crashed. Okay, let's close the app and let's hit the debug point again. And let us wait for some more time and let's see what happens. Okay, so the app has come up again and let us see what happens this time. So the splash screen came up and then again the screen is white. So there is some issue with my machine, I would say, because I tried it on a different Mac and over there it worked just fine. Okay, so eventually it will come up, but it will take like about maybe two minutes or so. So there's some problem with my machine, maybe some space related issue and it has crashed again. So, but don't you worry, if you are working on a Mac, it should work just fine. So don't you worry about that. Okay, so let me close the emulator. So if you are a .NET developer and dreaming of building mobile apps, hit that subscribe button because we are just getting started with Uno platform. And I'll see you in the next one.